Good morning. My name is Andrew Ramdial, and I'm a PMP author and instructor. Now, some of you may have known me from my study guides, my training videos, and my live class. Now, I have been getting a lot of questions over the last few days about this new PMP online exam format. So I thought I'll do a quick video to answer everyone's questions all in one shot. So let's take a look at the requirements and the process. Now, before I get into that, remember the PMP exam, the overall structure has not changed. It's still 200 questions. It's straight a linear exam and it's still a 4-hour test. So you got to remember that part of it, right? That has not changed. What did change is where you can take it. So now you don't have to go to a Pearson VUE testing center. You could take it at home. Now with the current pandemic that's going around the world, this is a great option because a lot of students are asking me, Andrew, I can't take the exam till June or till July until the exam centers reopen. Now you could take it at any point right from home. Let's take a look at the requirements though. So the requirements is you're going to need a computer with a webcam. Now, most laptops already have webcams. If you're looking at your laptop right now, you see the little hole at the top of the laptop. That is your webcam. Now, if you have a desktop, you can go out and you could purchase a webcam if you don't have one. I recommend the cheapest webcam you can find. Nothing extravagant, even 720p, which is one of the cheaper ones. Anything under 50 bucks is probably going to be good enough. So I don't recommend getting any too extravagant. Just a good webcam, just a cheap, I should say, webcam is going to be more than good enough. The next thing you're going to have is reliable internet connection. Any broadband connection should be fine. If you have a 56K modem, you might be in trouble. So hopefully not. The next thing you're going to have is a quiet space where you can spend a few hours with no interruptions. So this could be a room in your house. Even if you have a big space, maybe like a living room, just make sure that there's no interruptions and nobody's going to be in that section for the duration of the exam. Now, a couple of quick things and a lot of questions people asked me was, can I take scratch paper and all that? No, the exam will not allow any paper, any notes. You can't bring the PMP or my study guide to this exam. The good thing is the exam has a built-in whiteboard and a calculator that you'll be able to use to do any calculations. If you know the PMP exam format, you know that it will include calculations and a few formulas. Not a lot, but you're going to get some calculation formulas on the actual test. So that's something that you should be familiar with. Know your calculations, but remember, you're going to get a calculator and you're going to get a whiteboard. Now, let's talk about the process. So you're going to, same way as you would before, you're going to go to PMI, you're going to apply for this exam. You got to fill in all your experience. You got to put in the 35-hour class and your general education and submit your application. Once PMI approves your application, now you can come back to the website and you can schedule it and you can pay them their fees. Now you have the option of scheduling it. Now the good thing about this new online format is it's available 24/7. So maybe you could take the exam at 2 o'clock in the morning if you're a night person, or I should say early morning person. Not for me, but maybe you would. So you could schedule it all around the clock, which means they're probably going to have a lot of exam open windows. So a lot of people could take the exam a lot faster. Now, so you schedule the exam. Now the day of the test, right? 30 minutes before the day of the test, you're going to go back to pmi.org. You're going to go back to the actual website itself. You're going to go to the certification page. You're going to you're going to click the begin exam link. Now this link should be available 30 minutes before the exam starts. So don't call PMI, 1 hour before your exam starts. Hey, where is my link? Give it 30 minutes before the exam starts and you could start the exam. Now, there's a couple of quick things here is that they're going to install a software on your computer. Now, I've done a lot of online exams before. I remember doing my ITIL exam very recently. When I did my master's degree, I had some other exams there that I did online. So they install this software on your computer, which locks it up. So you can't see your taskbar. You can't open up Internet Explorer or that e-copy of your PMP. So the software locks up your computer. The webcam turns on. The proctor watches you. You're going to have to show your ID. So they're going to, actually for your driver's license, you're going to show it. They're going to check it to make sure the name matches. You're going to make sure that the picture matches. And once that is done, then the exam will start. Now, once the exam starts, the new thing is this new exam split. Now, I've had a few students take this exam, and from what I heard, it's a 90-100 split with a 10-minute break. So here's how that works. You're going to do the exam, the first part of it, which I think is going to be 90 questions. Now, don't quote me on this. It might even be 100 questions. This is from what I got from a few folks that have taken this particular test. So you're going to do the first part of it, and here's the deal. You're going to take it, and it finishes. Once it finishes, then this break starts. You do 90 questions. It ends. You take a 10-minute break, and then you do the next 110. Now, here's the thing. Once that first exam part is done, there's no going back to that part again. So that's something that was pointed out to me by a few folks that was taking the test. There was no way of going back to it. So, I tell my students sometimes you can go through the whole exam and then review your questions. Before you submit that first part of the test, you want to make sure that you review your questions before submitting that first part. I do recommend to take the entire 10-minute break. I don't know why you would want to sit there anyway for 4 hours. The break is optional. You don't have to, but I would suggest you take your 10-minute break, get up, stretch your legs, put some blood back in the body. We always need that in our brain. More oxygen, the better. And then come back and finish the exam. So timing, watch the timer, okay? 1 hour, 50 minutes, 1 hour, 45 minutes. You should be done with that first set. If it's 90 questions, if it's 200, if it's 100 split, and you'll see this when the exam starts, you want to make sure that 2 hour mark, at least if it's 100 questions, you have finished the first part of it. Then take your 10-minute break. Again, I recommend take the whole 10 minutes, come back, finish the last part of the exam, and then you submit it, and then it'll tell you whether you pass or God forbid you didn't pass, and what sections you did good on or what you didn't do good on. Okay, I hope you found this video very informative. I hope that answer all of your questions that you guys were asking me. And most importantly, I wish all of you the best of luck on this exam.